All right. How you doing, Mr. Juno? It's nice to meet you and for you to come in today. Um, and let's just get down to it. You wanted to
Thank you.
apply
Happy to
for,
be here.
yeah, no problem. You wanted to apply for a position at this firm. So I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions, kind of get to know you, any type of broad general questions, and then I'll kind of be able to nitpick through your kind of skills and anything specific that you might add to our firm later
Okay.
on in the question process. So to start off, really just get an idea of what you always wanted to be, like kind of what was your dream job? Was this always where your head was at to be working for a company like ours?
Well, I think that your firm certainly fits into what I've always wanted to do in life. It's in the industry that I enjoy in financial services. And I've done some research on your firm, and I understand it's a very well run operation, and it offers people like me and older people who are just getting into this business um, the opportunity to grow and to learn and to give some of the skills and information that I have as an older person who's been in business for all these years, and apply that to what you're doing over there. And I think that would be a great opportunity for both of us to share in this opportunity. And I'm looking forward to hopefully working with your firm.
Right, right. And I understand you were in the IT business for a little bit and you were your own boss over there as our previous interview had gone. So I was just kind of wondering, why do you want to work at this company? Why the switch from that type of field?
Well, I mean, it's not just a short time with you in the IT business. I was there for a while, and and I worked for another company, and then I started my own firm, and then it just became time to kind of look at something else. Now, no matter what I was doing in the IT business, I love to solve problems, and that's really why I liked that business. It wasn't that I liked computers that much or whatever, but I love to make things happen, find solutions for my clients that could make them more prosperous, make them more productive. So at the same time, I always had my eye on finance, and I've done a lot of my own investing over time, and I've really paid attention to the market, understand the things that can affect the market at the consumer level, at the technology level, and how different factors can play into what steers things one way or another. And so I think that it would be a good time for me now to make a switch to where I have all this experience and knowledge, and then I can apply that to your firm and in this financial services industry. I think it would be a great asset for
Right.
anyone.
Yeah, I see. I see. Well, you kind of got into the next question I was about to ask you on why should we hire you? What do you bring to the table besides your previous leadership responsibilities, everything that you've had to do in your IT business, managing, whatever might have been going on at that time. What else would you bring
Um,
to the table?
well, in addition to that, which is a lot of experience in several different businesses other than the IT businesses, military experience, working with the government. But I think the main thing would be the experience that I could contribute to your team. I'm sure that at your firm, there's your staff most likely is much younger than myself. So that type of maturity I could bring to the table of having a wide range of experience in business and in government. And I think it would be very useful to y'all. And I'm certainly a team player. I like working with teams. I've coached a lot of sports teams. I know how to build teams, work with people, come up with solutions to basically win the day.
Right. Yeah, no, that's good to hear. So, well, yeah, as you mentioned, you're kind of like an older type of more experienced, more developed interviewee that we've had in a while, or you know, nothing wrong with
Thank you.
that. But we might have like a younger crowd and everything. How do you think that you would be able to like I just kind of wanted to see maybe that could possibly be a weakness for you. I was kind of trying to see, what would be one of your biggest weaknesses? Like, do you think you would be able to adapt to that newer type of crowd, newer day and age? I know you have to with your IT business and everything. There's always different problems, anything like that, that you have to be adapt to. And, everything's always changing in that business, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
No,
as
I
I was
think
alluding to, what do you think your biggest weaknesses would be?
I think that you hit on it. I think that would be it. Working with that younger generation, it's it's not like I'm trying to be them because I'm not that age. I'm 56 years old. I might be working with some
Right.
25, 30-year-old guys. I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be some hip kid or whatever. So I think there would be kind of a rub there in understanding each other. But I think that would help bring these guys along, younger people along, to kind of see things at my level also, to where we could kind of meet in the middle and bring them maybe where they need to be as far as their thinking and their discipline, and then they could also help me to understand kind of what's going on with the younger generation, what y'all think about what your interests are. I'm particularly interested in developing that younger market, to be honest, because starting early is everything. And
Right.
so that's going to
Yeah,
be
of
the
course.
biggest market, to get these people, get younger people to start investing immediately, early, and often, and to get them to appreciate that that's their path to prosperity. And it's a good discipline that I could pass on to them. And I think that would be the best way for me to relate to them. But the age gap, I think, would be the biggest thing. And that would probably be something I would certainly be interested in overcoming. But I think I can do it.
Awesome. Yeah. So you were saying, yeah, just to start young, kind of get people into that field, early, be able to invest early, put your money away, that type of stuff. Would you say that's like a big motivator for you to be like the best you can at this type of job? Like, kind of just were you ever at a younger age kind of shown this way to, save your money early type of thing like that? Was that something that maybe you were taught about? Way back then. But would you say that's like a key motivator for you?
I think you hit very astute of you on that also. I had a great father who taught me early to invest and start saving as soon as I could when I was young. I always put something away for myself. It's what I've done for my sons. Hope I've imparted that to them, to start early and invest in good, solid companies. And to look for leaders in that business like the Warren Buffetts of the world and the other people who've done a good job and seen value and had the discipline and the understanding that a long-term plan is really what's required. And that's how you really build wealth. And it inspires me to want to do that for the younger generation, because they're going to be thanking me and whoever else imparts that information to them when they're in their 40s and 50s and when they're my age, where they don't have to worry so much about money. And they have something that they can look back on in life that they've created. The great tragedy would be to work your whole life and end up with nothing, other than your loving family, of course. But to have nothing to show for it would be terrible, because you deserve
Right.
to be able to relax and to be able to pass something on to your children.
Yeah, no, of course. Okay. Well, yeah, you're doing great with these questions so far.
Oh,
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
kind of transition into a more like, what's your mythology or methodology? Like, how do you, bring in new clients, that type of stuff, working with that type of thing. So I'm gonna kind of transition into something like that. So, in the past, I mean, obviously you've had some experience in creating whatever firm or the firm that you were at prior to this with your IT and everything. So of course you need a client base. So what were some of the ways or methods that you um, that kind of worked for you when you were at that job, kind of bringing in new client base type thing?
I would say it's an overall just philosophy of life and how you deal with people. Number one, you always tell the truth. Always. It's the easiest thing to do. It's freedom. It sets you free so where you can go on and do what you need to do. So I always tell the truth when I'm dealing with my clients, and I always look for their best interest first and only, because they're
Right. Of
trusting me to get the job done for them. And
course.
that kind of segues into the whole thing of telling the truth. It's like you're always doing the right thing. And so if you're always looking out, you're always telling the truth, you're always looking out for your client's best interest, that that just spreads and people know that you're doing the right thing for them. So once you've done that and you have a client base and you have a group of people that you work with and they know you and they trust you, I mean, recommendations and referrals are gold. really. I mean, you can advertise, you can do other things, but when someone recommends someone and says, that's the guy, that's the person who can get this done for you because they have the experience, then that's really the best way of doing and building a clientele. And I think I could definitely do that.
Yeah, so just kind of doing your things right, doing it to the T, making sure you're not taking any type of shortcuts, anything like that. Always having your best interest out. Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. That's kind of what we pride ourselves in over here. Just forming that trust with like the clients and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
great that you have the same philosophy. Is there any like specific ways that you've kind of been able to kind of keep organized, keep track of things, making sure you're not missing, following up on any clients, forgetting any jobs like that?
Um,
Any
that's
type
a
of
good
ways that you
question.
have like that?
No, yeah, that's one thing I think we all struggle with because I think there's the propensity to be scatterbrained but because we're influenced by so many things constantly. There's so many disruptions daily. But what I like to do is I keep an ongoing list of everything I've got to do that day, and I don't finish until I get it done. And at the end of the day, I go through my list of things that I was supposed to do and accomplish, and I do them that day. I don't wait till tomorrow. If I have to do them tomorrow, then they're on tomorrow's list because I can't do them today. But anything I can accomplish today, I don't put it off and I do it immediately. I do that with my billing, for instance, because I don't want to miss anything. I want to forget about anything. I want to make sure I have all of that done. Anything I need to order for clients, I have that done and ready. And so it's always, it's an ongoing thing, and it's just a discipline of just following through and not letting things sit.
Right, right. So this is something all that you do, that you don't have like a secretary or anything like doing these things. These
No,
are all methods that you've been able to do by yourself.
no,
Okay.
exactly. It's just a self-discipline of following through, keeping a list of things I need to accomplish when I need to do them, and I live by that list. Every day I'm going through it, I'm checking things off, I'm getting things done, and I'm following up.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. And I'm sure, but kind of alluding to the next question, dealing with stressful situations. I know, in one of the interviews we had a while back, you had delegated maybe a job to somebody else that kind of went all haywire, and then something happened. How are you able to kind of deal with like stressful situations in general, like anything that kind of doesn't go your way, just doesn't go as planned?
Um, that's tough. I'm a pretty disciplined person. I want things done properly. But as far as dealing with the stress of it all, the best thing you can do is not panic. Panic is the
Right.
quickest way to lose. To If you're in a game, panic, you lose. If there's a stressful situation, if you're drowning or you're swimming in a lake and you panic, you drown. If you panic during a fire, you panic during anything. And I think I have a lot of experience working through stressful situations because I'm responsible for a lot of people, a lot of their data and things like
Yeah,
that.
of
And you
course, of
just got
course.
to keep a cool head because I know that the worst thing I could do is to get upset and make the situation worse. So it's just a lifelong experience of just knowing I made my mistakes, but I've learned. And that really is dealing with stressful situations. The first thing to do is calm down, relax, think it through, and execute your plan methodically, whatever you come up with to resolve this situation.
Right. So you kind of just sit back, take it all in rather than, rushing to find a situation that might like not really looking for a temporary thing, but something to kind of overcome everything, making sure you're thinking
Yeah,
every type of point through like that, not rushing to a decision.
no, I'm very methodical in how I do things. Even if I do something temporarily, it's with maybe buying time because decision making and problem solving is a discipline like anything else. And that's one thing I have a ton of experience at because I work in IT and there
Right.
are problems
Yeah.
every day. And I've got to work through them methodically. And so you process of elimination. You may do something as a stopgap for now, but that's all part of the decision making process. What am I trying to accomplish and how am I going to get there? I may have to do some preliminary things to buy some time to get me where I need to get to. And then at the same time, I'm always thinking about that back plan. I'm thinking about, hey, where are we going to get through this on the long term? I've got some situations right now I'm working through as we speak to accomplish that. So that's certainly something I have a lot of experience with. But stress, everyone has to deal with it. But we just got to sit back and relax and come up with a good solution. So
Right. Okay. Well, I just got a couple more questions here. We're just going to kind of brush through these real quick. Kind of pretty much with the same thing with the question that I just have, stressful situation. Is there any time that you've had to kind of think on your feet, something that you weren't planning on having to do? Could you give me like an example and what you did about that type of changing situation? You weren't expecting this was going to happen, and you had to
Um,
kind of come up with a decision to fix something that wasn't going as planned.
yeah, well, that's called basically in the IT business, that's called waking up. Waking up at 8 o'clock. When 8 o'clock rolls around, I've got all these businesses, they're coming into work, they're turning on their systems, they're expecting them to work. And then so the calls start coming in and what's happening that day. It may be something, it may be nothing. I may get no calls for till 10 or 11 o'clock, but 8 o'clock, it may just hit the ground running. And I've got a systemic problem, say at one site, got to figure out how can I solve that? Can I deploy some other people, some of my other support guys on those simpler problems while I'm dealing with something else? There could be system-wide internet outages for several clients at the same time because they may all have, say, AT&T for their fiber link, and so AT&T is down for 3 people. So just recognizing that and prioritizing it, those are good examples. I deal with that every day. It starts every morning as everyone goes into work. So I'm responsible for maybe a couple of thousand desktops right now.
Yeah,
And
no, of
it's a lot of
course,
people
of
whose
course.
computers need to work every day. So there's always something, but I'm able to triage it and work through it. And with some good support, we get it done all the time.
Right. Yeah, yeah, no, of course. So last question here. Just tell me about tell me at a time that you had like kind of a good idea and you kind of brought that in to either your life or kind of in your field and everything. I mean, I know everything's kind of changing all the time, with IT and everything. There's never anything kind of set in stone. You might, have some experience with a specific problem before, and you'll remember it from past experience or something. But tell me about a time that you kind of had like a good idea, um, that might have helped you out with some type of situation you might have been foreign to.
Sure. Well, no, I'll tell you, it would be when I got into the business 30 years ago or so, it was more like a kind of a break fix environment. People called you when they had problems. They called you when things didn't work. And we deal with the servers and all the back end equipment. And so not long after that, I started to push early on to say, no, 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 we're not going to wait till things break. We're going to have a schedule plan where we go into your systems once a week and we're going to check, we're going to know what's going on. Because the worst thing that can happen, I walk into a room, everything's off, the server's down. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
What
Yeah. Of
happened? When was
course.
it backed up last? Was this here last time I was over there? Was that piece of equipment there? I don't know. If I need to put my eyes on it and work on it on a regular basis, and that's the best way that we can support these businesses. So we instituted a policy where it was required basically that we spent a certain amount of time a week just checking things, just making sure things are working, your update on your virus definitions, your backups are working, the hardware is working properly, we don't have any failures and all that. So we're not caught, with it flat-footed where, hey, I haven't been here in 6 months. I don't even know what's going on. So that was a big change that we made company-wide and I instituted the policy and followed through with it. And it's been very successful. It's saved our customers money and time, and it's saved us a lot of stress to where we don't have to deal with putting out fires all the time. And it's allowed my company to grow because we can plan for future growth. I can plan on upgrades for clients because I know, hey, this is failing. This server is running out of space. We can order the equipment, have it ready, and then have a plan where we migrate over to the new system and no one's down, everyone works, because these companies are in the business of not running computer systems. They're in the business of doing what they do, be it a law office or a manufacturing company, whatever. The
Right.
computer system is just a tool, and I'm the person there to make it work.
Yeah. Of course. Okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much everything I kind of wanted to ask. You're a great candidate.
Oh,
We
thank
will
you.
definitely be in touch. I have your email, I have your number. We will be in contact in the next couple of days, regardless of what happens. Um, but you seem like the right fit for what we're looking for.
Oh,
As you said, we have a kind of young team right now. You know, kind of not as much experience, but more adapt to that kind of new world type of thinking, technology. Of course, they've been studying finance all their life, but it would be great to have somebody with more experience, more real world problems that they've been able to overcome. Something that these young people are kind of foreign to that whole thing. You know, they've been in school, they might have had a couple internships, but you bring something that maybe that they haven't been a part of before. So I have your number. We will be in contact, probably within the coming week for sure. So thank you for applying. Thank you for being able to make this meeting, and look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I hope to hear from you soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.